how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became the prince
Corey
of the town called
Johnson
Bel-Air.
neutral ground program this afternoon. French Prince of Bel-Air reruns? What? Don't decide to do something different. You might get slapped across the face if you don't let this show play. What?
Chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool and all
crazy.
shooting some b-ball outside of the school when a couple of guys who were up to no good.
Corey
started
Johnson
making
with
trouble in
you,
my neighborhood.
a.k.a.
I got
G.I.
one little fight,
Jane.
and my mom got scared and said,
Ow! Yeah, you right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A Thursday edition of the program. Pretty ridiculous weather out there in a good way. Just like yesterday. I don't know, about 70, 75 degrees out there. Doesn't seem like a January day. Well, maybe. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be about 30 degrees colder than it is right now. From around 72 to about 42. That's tomorrow morning. Yeah, tonight, overnight, temperatures will start plummeting. Like in a few hours, it'll be 10 degrees cooler. A few hours after that, another 10 degrees cooler. Now, that rain that came through earlier that was supposed to be, I don't know, a little more severe and maybe a little longer period of time ended up not being as severe and didn't go for a very long time, which, I mean, who's complaining about that? That's a blessing. We got some rain. That's nice. We just didn't get crushed, which is nice. Anyway, speaking of nice, you can boil some crawfish tonight. You can throw down the coals. You can light up the gas because the weather's really fantastic. Is that Will over there? You working, Will? I see you, buddy. How you doing, man? Will doesn't stop, man. Doing good, Will. Live on the radio and TV, giving you a shout out. Yeah, you're right. Will's a hard worker over here, always helping me out when something's not right in the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Could have some lighting issue or air conditioning or heat issue. I call Will the Thrill, and he gets it done. Gets us fixed. Hey, speaking of help, Jason, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun, a.k.a. the Man in Black, is at the controls. Fielding your phone calls via the Rouse's Markets phone lines. Got a good one lined up for you, including some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Yeah, you right. The city's premier day spa experience is the Woodhouse Day Spa. 4 area locations right now, a 5th coming online in just the next few short weeks. Maybe right around Mardi Gras, right after Mardi Gras, a Mandeville location, Trey Yen country. That's right, North Shore. You'll have not 1 but 2 North Shore locations. Slidell, I-10 at Gauze. Mandeville coming soon. Got 2 South Shore locations in New Orleans, Canal Street at Carrollton in Mid-City, in Metairie near North Kenner, Transcontinental at West Esplanade, and of course in the capital city, yeah, you right, Tiger Town, Baton Rouge, got you covered. Woodhouse Day Spa. This might help, huh, Jason? We are on air. We need that light on. On air. Ding, 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 ding. You radio folks like, what? You television and YouTubers get it. I didn't have the on-air light on, even though we were, quote, on air. Anyway, I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. I-10 Service Road at Bundy. There's a huge big box type of store. That thing's like almost 50 years old. It's now the House of Faith Church, the House of Faith Church in a former big box store. And they've done a good job cleaning it up. Nice facade now. What was the now House or Household of Faith Church, excuse me, Household of Faith Church? What was it originally when it was first built and opened? About 50 years ago. About 50 years ago. It might be 50, 51, 52 years old. It's been there a long time, since I was a little tot. Since I was a tot. What was that building originally? I'll give you a hint. I had one of those, the Daisy BB gun. You cock it and you can shoot the BB. You unscrew the top and you can load a bunch of BBs in it. Could hold 50, 75, maybe 100 BBs, maybe more. You screw the top back up, you cock it once, and it shoots the BB. I mean, just the little Daisy. You could see the BB curving in the air. My buddy had the, what was that pump BB gun called? It wasn't a Daisy pump. It was something you could pump it up. You could feel it got harder to pump. And then, boy, that pellet, it could take darts with the feather, pellets, or BBs. And that thing was sort of a dangerous weapon. Buddy of mine had the little pistol you could pump. Same thing. You load in the top, a BB, a dart with feathers, or the pellets. Anyway, that's a hint. I got my Davy, it was called a treasure chest. And it was a little cardboard box. You open it up and it had, I think, 50 BBs in each packet. And there might have been 20 packets in this thing. The Daisy treasure chest of BBs. Anyway, what was that store, that big box originally? Back in the 70s, going into the 80s, I believe, before it went out of business. Probably turns hands a few times into different businesses. It's now the Household Faith of Church. It's on the I-10 service road at Bundy, in between Crowder and Reed. Yeah, I'm tossing a little bone to you New Orleans Eastas. New Orleans East, home of not one good restaurant. Last week on Friday, Frank Brightson, as always, joining us in the 5 o'clock Power Hour. He won the Ella Brennan Award last year. This year's award winner, Susan Spicer. Susan joined us on the program with Frank and reminiscing about a lot of things like Warren LaRuth, reminiscing about Crozier from his great restaurant, Crozier's, which was out in New Orleans East. Fine dining in New Orleans East. Yeah, it used to exist. Before the Enola Gay flew over, I don't know, around 83. Combination of the oil bust coupled with no good criminal types, Sherman Copeland and Johnny Jackson. Section 8 housing, the East, just selling out. No foresight, no thinking, just setting themselves up and friends and family enriching themselves at the East's demise. The East used to be like a Metairie, full of retail in the 70s and even into the 80s. And then slowly but surely, about 40 years ago, it went on a steady decline. And then Katrina just knocked the lights out of the East. I mean, the Far East, the Vietnamese community have definitely given the East a leg up. They've just sort of claimed that area off the shelf. There's retail out there. There's grocery stores, gas stations. You get by NASA and Michoud. You got Vasinovich's, Dong Fong. There's some culture and stuff out there. The rest of the East, pretty tough, man. It's pretty rough in New Orleans East. I'm not talking like crime, that too. I'm talking just, not a lot of good retail, not a lot going on, not a big pulse. The average income in the East, about $10,000 a year less than the average income around the rest of New Orleans. $10,000 less. Anyway, tossing a bone out to you folks in New Orleans East, home of not one good restaurant. Speaking of, right across from that Household of Faith Church, right across Bundy, the building is still there. What was the name of that restaurant across the street? I'll give you a little hint on that. What was the name of that Chinese restaurant across the street? Kind of went the same route as that big box store, was doing really well, prospering. And then around the oil bust and the Johnny Jackson, Sherman Copeland screw-ups, went straight down. Anyway, you got answers to that? I got 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse for you. Guitar genius Jeff Beck passing away at 78 years old. I love great musicians. I'm sure a lot of you do too. Sonny Landreth, we play a lot of his stuff from Lafayette. Eric Clapton said he's better than him. Eric Clapton. I mean, the Radiators are playing tonight at Tipitina's. They've unretired for the 19th time. They'll be at Tips for like 3 straight shows. Camille Bowden for the Radiators is a shredder. Jeff Beck was more of a, guitar virtuoso, passing away at 78. Got some trivia on him. Corey Johnson with your big port news next.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about fresh local fish like flounder, snapper, and speckled trout, fried, broiled, or grilled. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, now with 4 area locations. Canal at Carrollton, on the North Shore and Slidell, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, and now in Metairie, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. The Woodhouse Day Spa.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, no slide. NolaAC.com, no slide.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. one of our guys over here loves tennis, and I popped into the green room and got suckered into watching pro tennis. I couldn't even tell you who's hitting it. And it's like, oh, yeah, Corey, you have a radio program to do. Get out of the green room. Get back to work. See, I'm pretty responsible. I came back to work. I don't know if we can say the same for the mayor and the city council with this crime problem. We bring him on the program a little too much lately, and he agrees with it. But there's a reason. New Orleans has a violent crime problem, and it doesn't seem to be going away. Even with these changes, enhanced patrols and the like, supposedly, the numbers continue to spike. Rafael Goyeneche knows it better than anyone. He's with the Metropolitan Crime Commission. He's been with them for decades. He joins us again on the show. How you doing, Rafael?
Hey, Corey. Sorry that things haven't improved and you're still having me on your show.
Isn't that terrible to have to say that? You're such a good guy. We obviously say it in jest, but there's a slight reality to it.
Well, I mean, by ignoring the problems, it doesn't make the situation get better. So the fact that you're talking about it, that the public is engaged in it, that's the reason, the only chance that we have, that's the reason I'm optimistic.
Yep.
I couldn't do this if the glass wasn't always half full. There's always a chance.
Yep.
And I think that there's a couple of things that are going that I think could be significant going forward that might actually help us turn the corner from a public safety perspective in the new year.
Let's talk about that in a second. The glass might have a crack in it and it's leaking a little bit, Rafael. You said it. You have to acknowledge the problem. If you don't acknowledge it, admit it's there, it's impossible to fix it. It looks like the mayor, I don't want to say is on board, but she's finally acknowledging the problem maybe this week?
Well, I mean, it's been the elephant in the room, and she can't ignore what used to be the silent majorities change where they've become the vocal majority. So now the public, is sending a unified voice that this is unacceptable.
Yep.
And that message has been received by our political leadership, the city council, the mayor, the district attorney, the sheriff, the judges. So I think all of that is a positive that we have going for us right now. The new interim superintendent, she's just not treading water. She's making significant changes. And I believe the lineup that she's put in place in the last week is an upgrade over what was in place before. There's a sense of urgency in everybody that I haven't seen in the past 3 years. And that's a significant change. And that's what in part gives me hope for the new year that we can turn some of these trends around.
You mentioned the elephant in the room. The mayor really can't ignore it. It appears she's not anymore. But, it's discouraging, Rafael. It's like the mayor has her crime plan. The council doesn't feel like they were included in that discussion. And now the council next week is going to announce some type of crime initiative or something. I mean, if the mayor and the council aren't on the same page, that's sort of going backwards, right?
All right. So, look, I watched the mayor's press conference yesterday.
Yep.
Talking about this new violent crime initiative. And I'm listening to her and I'm scratching my head because essentially what she's talking about doing is replicating the Office of Criminal Justice Coordination. So she has an office. She has a staff member that she hired when she won her first term. That's essentially doing and supposed to be doing what she announced this new initiative yesterday and made it sound like it was something new. The only difference is she appointed the head of the communications district to lead the initiative. If she wanted to really make a statement about how committed and embedded she was in public safety and doing something about the crime, who better than to spearhead that effort than her? But she appoints the head of the communications district.
That's like the 311 guy?
Yeah, and he's under investigation by the Inspector General's office.
Wow.
So I just, I don't think that what she announced is anything new, because we have the Office of Criminal Justice Coordination that's supposed to be doing that. All the people that were assigned to that are people that the city's crime commissioner is supposed to be rallying support from and communicating and coordinating all of their efforts together. So, I wonder if that's more of a soundbite and a press release as opposed to anything meaningful in that. I mean, I thought it was interesting that the police chief wasn't even there.
Wow.
I didn't see any of the other members of that coalition or that panel at that meeting. Now, maybe they were off camera. I don't know, but normally they're standing up behind the mayor, and I didn't see any of them there. So, look, I think what the mayor has done, make no mistakes about it. She invited the consultants to come to town. They're being paid for by the business community, not the city of New Orleans. So I'll give her credit because she recognized that we needed help, and those consultants have come in. They're being paid for not by the city of New Orleans, but by private funds from the business community. She finally responded to the collective voices of the public and the NOLA coalition and agreed to give raises to police officers and bonuses and buy new equipment for police. She, made the rounds and went to every roll call in every police district over a period of time. And, after she did that, she said, she was embedded in the department and they didn't tell her anything she didn't know. Well, she's in her second term of office, and these problems just didn't erupt this year. They've been happening since 2020, week after week, month after month, year after year, of crime going up while the numbers of officers have gone down. And she only elects to embed herself in the police department when literally the wheels are coming off, of public safety in the city. The police department is at a staffing level of about 900 officers, which is the lowest in the modern history of the city of New Orleans. And the public has been alerted to the fact because we've been alerting the public, and people like you and the media have been reporting it nightly on the news, and the mayor ignored it for 3 years. If she had responded at the end of 2020, we wouldn't be in this situation. It wouldn't be as bad as she got around to responding to it in 2021. But here we are going into 2023, and finally, she's recognizing that we have a problem that needs to be addressed. It needs to be a priority, and at least we're starting to get some of the resources. So this new superintendent, whether it's going to be interim superintendent made permanent, or if we hire somebody else, the new superintendent is going to have resources available to him or her for this department that their predecessor never had available to them. So I'm cautiously optimistic that, the squeaky wheel is getting the grease now. And I attribute that, and I give full credit to the general public for demanding that something be done about this, and that political leadership is responding to their calls for help and action.
That lack of a sense of urgency from the mayor, it continues even today. I don't think a national search has started for the new police chief, right?
Well, they got turned down by one search committee, and I heard her at the press conference say that she's expecting to receive a proposal for engagement of conducting a national search from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, which is one of the preeminent law enforcement search groups in the country. So we got a no from PERF, but if IACP says yes, I think that they're more than capable of handling a legitimate national search for the next superintendent. The national search does not mean that a local will not be considered.
Sure.
And, the last time I looked, the city of New Orleans is part of the nation. So a lot of the mayor initially at her appointment of the interim superintendent said that she wasn't going to call it a national search because that was disrespectful to the police officers of the police department. And I was kind of chuckling to myself because I thought she conducted a national search to hire the head of the sewage and water board.
Yeah, and it worked out great in my opinion. I mean, I like Ghassan Corban, but another show, another topic. No, you're right.
And she also conducted a national search to hire her chief operating officer from New Mexico.
It's mind blowing.
It's disrespectful to do it for the police department. That didn't make any sense to me. And it certainly hasn't made any sense to the city council and the general public. The general public wants the best available candidate. And anything less than that is doing a disservice to the people of the city of New Orleans and the men and women of the New Orleans Police Department.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, we're visiting with Rafael Goyeneche with the Metropolitan Crime Commission. Corey Johnson with you. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. You might need air conditioning help right now. Tomorrow you might need heat help. River City's Total Maintenance is there. Find them at NOLAAC.com. Hey, we're coming right back. Quick break. More with Rafael Goyeneche. Don't move. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Kanye West was seen shopping at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
I am Shakespeare in the flesh. Walt Disney, Nike, Google.
Okay, I think Kanye was talking about something else entirely. Super Discount Store on Paris Road in Chalmette.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River City's Total Maintenance keeps you cool. River City's Total Maintenance keeps you cool. River City's Total Maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's Total Maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Enjoy outdoor dining on the streetcar line, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, the finest in Middle Eastern cuisine, Carrollton at Jeanette, Lebanon's Cafe.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply. For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Welcome back on a Thursday afternoon. Corey Johnson with you. Rafael Goyeneche is with us from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. Hey, Rafael, instead of trying to jam this in at the end, why don't you tell folks how they can get your 2 times a week email blast, and maybe if they want to report crime or some kind of deviant behavior, maybe they just want to know more about the Metropolitan Crime Commission. What's the best way to do all of that?
Right. So we have a website, metrocrime, one word, metrocrime.org. You can register there to receive free, no charge, twice a week email notifications of our crime trends and prosecution reports. We also issue other reports from time to time on the criminal justice system, tracking the data and sharing that information with the public. If anyone wants to report something involving ethical, administrative, or criminal wrongdoing anywhere in the state of Louisiana, they can do that via our website or call us at our office at 504-524-3148.
Hey, Rafael, you mentioned, and I read and saw that this group they reached out to help for the national search. Why did they turn New Orleans down? Are they a nonprofit? Are they busy? Do they not like working with the city? What was the reasoning on turning New Orleans down?
The official reason was they didn't have the capacity at this time.
Wow.
So that was PERF. And IACP is the other nationally recognized organization. And according to the mayor, I'm just repeating what I heard her say at her press conference yesterday. She said she's anticipating receiving an engagement proposal to conduct a national search from IACP.
Hey, Rafael, the new interim chief, Michelle Woodfork, what is the new super doing, and what do you like about the new lineup she presented?
Well, I've spoken to her only twice. I didn't really know her before she was appointed, but she's very bright. She's very committed. Her position is, as long as she's the chief, she's just not going to maintain the status quo. She's going to try and make the organization better. And I think the decisions and appointments that she made on January the 3rd at least got my attention, where she appointed 3 new deputy chiefs. Each one of those appointments are people that are highly regarded within the New Orleans Police Department. And, her position is that, she wants to be judged by what she does. And this is an opportunity for her to audition for this position. And I think the strategy she's taking is that I'm just not going to be a caretaker or maintain the status quo. She's willing to make changes, use her political capital to try and improve things, and hopefully make a case for her permanent appointment as the superintendent. I respect that.
She seemed to say, not even an insinuation, sort of said it. No, I didn't use the consulting group. I didn't use Linder. I didn't use the former deputy chief from New York. I did this on my own.
Well, I mean, when we were talking, I mean, she told me, as chief, I own every promotion and appointment that I make. I embrace that. I recognize that. And she's absolutely right. So she's not shy or afraid to do what she believes is in the best interest of the department. And like I said, I respect that attitude, and I'm here to help and support her in any and every way that I can.
Rafael, what happened to the enhanced patrols? I mean, a kindergarten student could tell you, hey, when there's an event at the arena or the dome or the Sanger, cars get broken into. And it's not like, man, we got to cover some lots in Kenner, LaPlace, Slidell. We got to go out to the east. It's right around the dome and the arena. It's those surface lots right around the dome and the arena. How can we have a Saints game last Sunday, noon to 3 o'clock, broad daylight, and at least a half dozen lots are infiltrated and cars are, broken into and vandalized? What happened to the enhanced patrols? I mean, this isn't rocket science.
So let me say that, enhanced is going to be relative. So anytime there's a Saints game, I can't tell you what the staffing levels are, but there are a lot of police officers inside the dome working with crowd issues and public safety issues. So the remaining officers that are on duty, they probably put some more people patrolling around. But every resource that they deploy for, patrol around the dome to identify automobile burglaries means that there's less officers for the rest of the city to protect the residents in other neighborhoods. And as I pointed out, we're at an all-time staffing low in the modern history of the city of New Orleans.
Yep.
So literally the, people that are breaking into cars know that they know, just like the general public, there's not enough officers, and the odds are in their favor that they can break into cars and get away with it. I cannot tell you what the deployment level is, but obviously there are not enough officers to police this city, and that includes, for events like a Saints game where it's known that people have been breaking into cars. I'm sure there was more of a presence, but we can't put the type of presence necessary to prevent these from happening, given the numbers that we have right now, unless we totally compromise other important responsibilities of the police department to provide for the safety of our citizens.
If there's a Saints game or a Pels game or some at the Sanger, it's the immediate area around those facilities that you have to worry about. The city proved last Sunday they can't handle it. Why would someone come drive in and park somewhere in Uptown for Mardi Gras when it's not like a mile around a building? It's Claiborne, up Napoleon, River down Napoleon, St. Charles Avenue, through, the old Lee Circle, down St. Charles to Canal Street. I mean, miles and miles and miles of parade routes, miles and miles and miles of neighborhoods and cars parked all around that route. I mean, it's going to be smash and grab city, car break-in city over Mardi Gras, wouldn't it? Am I wrong on that?
Well,
How do they stop that?
And you know what, Corey? That was a reality in, prior years when we weren't facing these staffing issues in 1819. So the police department is aware of those issues. They're going to become more acute. That's part of the reason why they shorten the parade routes, in recognition that we just don't have enough police officers. Now, what's been discussed, and I don't know if it's going to be a reality.
Yep.
But the mayor indicated that she was in negotiations with other law enforcement agencies from around the state to come in, and the city would pay them to help provide for security in the city. I saw where the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office has agreed to provide deputies for parade route deployment in certain areas of town for certain events, with Mardi Gras.
Right.
So it's going to take all hands on deck. And basically what we're trying to do is to compensate for the about 300 officers, 300 to 350 officers that we're short right now. And we're going to continue to have a shortage of officers for the foreseeable future. So it's going to require us to be, us meaning, our law enforcement and the public, to be a little patient and to be a little bit more proactive in taking whatever measures we can to reduce our potential for being victimized by crime.
No, I'm with you. And that's the public's choice to be more proactive. What do you think about this council ordinance for these parking lots? I don't get it. Hey, we're not going to light up the area. We're not going to put a crime camera there. We're not going to have police there. But you, the parking lot owner, we're requiring you to have an attendant present. There were attendants present at the Tasty on Broad and Esplanade. Doesn't stop these brazen criminals, Rafael.
Right. So, what we see in some other jurisdictions is that the police will put up temporary cameras in some areas that they believe are prone to crime.
It's insulting,
Rafael.
Rafael.
I don't know why we couldn't do that, as a force multiplier.
No.
What? If the city is trying to pay an officer overtime,
yep.
Putting a camera up is cheaper than paying an officer overtime.
No, we've seen these little mobile cameras in parking lots with the jacked up camera thing, the little police thing up in the air, NOPD.
Yep.
They've got them in Jefferson too. It's insulting to see some car parked that is getting people for speeding. These mobile, traffic camera vehicles. We can't have mobile crime cameras. It's insulting.
Right. So I think we're gonna have to rely heavily on technology.
Yep.
Going forward, there are several proposals being talked about and all of that, but I think that is going to be a major part of any solutions to addressing crime while we rebuild the numbers to the level needed to police this city.
Hold that thought. We're going to come right back, talk about tech with Rafael Goyeneche.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com. Rouse's Markets means convenience. Every one of our 65 locations opens at 7 a.m., some at 6:30. And they're open until 10 p.m., with some staying open till 11 or even midnight. Convenience. Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Have a painting project but can't decide on the perfect color? At Helm Paint and Decorating, we offer half-pint paint samples in any Benjamin Moore color for under $5, so you can test potential paint colors before investing in a full gallon.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
Recently, Kim Kardashian was seen at Super Discount Store in Chalmette.
Let's party.
Can you think of any other celebrities that won't sue us? Super Discount Store in Chalmette. The lowest prices allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and cold beer. 3235 Paris Road.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Rafael Goyeneche is with us from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. What new tech might we expect in the future besides potentially these mobile crime cameras?
Well, I think you're going to probably see more cameras deployed on the interstates. I think that there will be more use of license plate scanners by the police department and new technologies with respect to that. One of the things that I've been advocating for years is the use of sharing the geolocation of everyone wearing an electronic monitor. So when people are arrested for felony offenses, one of the conditions of release often imposed by judges for offenders that make bail is that they wear an electronic monitor. So the geolocation of everyone wearing a monitor is used by the monitoring company to make sure that the offender is complying with the conditions of release. But that information needs to be shared with the police department. So every major crime that's committed, the police department does a geo map documenting the location of every crime. So if everyone wearing an electronic monitor, if that information is shared every day with the police department,
yep.
If anyone wearing a monitor is at the scene of a crime when a crime was committed, the police have a suspect now. So we have done that successfully in the past years ago, and it's no longer done. We need to go back to doing that because the people that are most likely to commit a crime are the people that have been recently arrested and or convicted of committing a crime. So everybody's entitled to bail, just about everybody. And if they're getting out, we need to keep track to make sure that these offenders are in fact complying with the conditions of release. And one of the conditions of release is that they not break any laws of the state of Louisiana. And as important as it is for the adult offenders, it's even more important for the juvenile offenders that get out on pretrial custody.
New Orleans does things differently. This RTA executive running the local RTA happened to be running the Tampa Transit Authority at the same time. Tampa fired her on the spot. New Orleans puts her on paid leave while they investigate. Such a glaring difference. I know about civil service and all that still. That's insane. Vappy's back on the job. I think he had paid leave while he wasn't working. Now he's back with the NOPD full-time working. Are you okay with that, Officer Vappy?
Yeah, I mean, so he was being paid to stay home and not do anything?
He was being paid to hang out at the Pentalba before that.
You're right. Well, yeah, but now he's not working at the Pentabla. He's not on the mayor's security detail. He's sitting at a desk doing work in the asset forfeiture division. So he has to report to work, and he doesn't get to travel, and he doesn't get to visit the Pentabla, and he's actually earning the money that he's being paid by the city right now.
Hey, Rafael, Karen Carter Peterson, 22 years in the state legislature. She gets 22 months in jail. What about the funnelers, as I'm calling? These BS political consulting groups, Jalen, et cetera. What about these guys? Do you think the FBI investigation continues on them? I mean, Karen Carter Peterson's only half the deal. Had to send the money to someone from her campaign, from the Louisiana Democratic Party, and then get it kicked back to her for personal use.
All right. So, you know, the federal authorities don't share information with the Crime Commission or any non-law enforcement people.
Yep.
I don't know what they're doing with respect to that. But, you know, I look at that and I look at the fact that she got 22 months and it wasn't a whole heck of a lot of money. And then I go back and I think about the Irvin Mayfield, Ronald Markham, where they basically looted over $1 million from the Library Foundation that was intended for the New Orleans libraries.
For every 100,000 they stole, they got about a month in jail. For every 100 grand they stole.
Yeah, so they got less time for stealing, you know, millions more than what Karen Carter Peterson did.
Yep.
And that money is never going to be repaid, you know?
I don't like this. I mean, the media reports that, the gambling habit. That makes it sound like I'm not a criminal. I have an addiction. I'm not a criminal. I have a disease. I'm sure a lot of the money went in the slot machine, but not all of it, Rafael.
Well, that didn't work with the judge. It didn't resonate with the judge.
Thank goodness.
You know?
No, that's
I
good.
think the fact that she repaid the money, the fact that she pled guilty and admitted what she did, you know, probably resulted in a downward departure. But the judge commented, at least it was reported in the media, that the judge didn't give any consideration to the, pleas of her attorney that she wasn't responsible for what she did because she had a gambling addiction.
Good. That's good to hear because that's a lame excuse. I'm not trying to say it's not a problem, but I guarantee you all the money she took didn't go into the slot machines. You got other personal use items. Hey, Rafael, we got about 30 seconds. What do you think of Guardian Angels New Orleans? We got 1.2 plus million in the metro. It would be easy to find 300-400 volunteers that want to do it. Unarmed, no self-defense, know the law, Guardian Angels New Orleans. What do you think?
Well, I think that if it's done in a responsible manner, that if they see a crime being committed, they can document it with their phones. They can, have the ability to contact the police and get law enforcement in to make an arrest.
Yep.
But I think it has to be something that is well-trained people following certain protocols and making sure that the police know that they're there and able to respond to their calls if they provide meaningful information to the police. Yeah,
they're in like 130 cities. 130 cities around the world, and it appears to have worked in New York at times. 24/7, up and down the parade route. Nice to have that presence. Hey, Rafael, always a pleasure, man.
All right. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you. That's Rafael Goyeneche from the Metropolitan Crime Commission. That's Blue Boy barking up a storm saying, Corey, the 5 o'clock power hour's next. 93.9 FM, 107.9 FM, New Orleans. Do not move.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live, we live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, the premier day spa experience, is now more convenient than ever. Now open, the Woodhouse Day Spa, Metairie location, West Esplanade at Transcontinental. Metairie and Kenner's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Where can you find shish kebab in New Orleans? Lamb, beef, chicken, shrimp, plus all your other Mediterranean favorites. Lebanon's Cafe on the streetcar line. Lunch, dinner, and shish kebab. Lebanon's Cafe.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's founder, Paula Norris Metier.
Our Brain Restoration Plus Detox Treatment is an intravenous nutritional supplement that restores the brain's chemical imbalances. Our patients detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. It also blocks the craving, which is unbelievable and which is why most people say they have a hard time believing, but it restores neuron function. Many treatment programs use one drug to get you off of another drug. At Springfield, we treat the problem. Addiction is first a brain disease. If you or a loved one suffer from substance abuse, please just give us a call.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
When you think of Fury's Restaurant in Metairie, you think about their daily lunch specials like red beans and rice, black-eyed peas, white butter beans, liver and onions. Daily lunch specials. Fury's Restaurant in Metairie.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work to do now.
Apparently, the 5 o'clock power hour has been officially canceled. Corey Johnson with you on the neutral ground. They're sending me home. Reruns of Scooby-Doo coming your way now. Yep. See you tomorrow. Unless Mr. Drew Brees, number 9, can bail us out. Hey, Mr. Brees, I know you're in retirement, living it up in La Jolla. Can you get rid of Shaggy and Scooby and the crew? The Mystery Machine. Thank you very much, number 9. Number 9. Drew Brees with the intro. Corey Johnson with the program. 5 o'clock power hour. You are, in fact, on the neutral ground. Man, if you missed the last hour, you missed a lot. A really good conversation for about 35, 40 minutes with Rafael Goyeneche from the Metropolitan Crime Commission, asking him all kinds of questions, getting a lot of great answers from him. You'll want to check that out if you care about the city of New Orleans and our crime problem. Hey, Katie's in Mid-City, 5 o'clock power hour this afternoon, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant with all those old school New Orleans specialties you've come to love over the years. You can't go wrong at Katie's. From pizzas to po' boys and so much stuff in between. As New Orleans as it gets, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? And hey, you Jefferson Parish folks, Elmwood, River Ridge, Harahan folks, right on that curve or in the curve in the road on Hickory Avenue, Bienvenue, the Katie's of Harahan. Yeah, you right, Bienvenue in Harahan, Katie's in Mid-City, 5 o'clock power hour, brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Yeah, you right. Guitar legend, genius Jeff Beck has passed away at 78 years old. He's been a fixture for 60 years. Name one of his bands. Name one of his bands. He's played in at least 3 different groups, at least 3, with folks like Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page, Rod Stewart, Ronnie Wood from the Stones. I mean, ridiculous. Yeah, speaking of Jimmy Page, I think it was 1969. So what's that? 54 years ago today, Led Zeppelin 1 was released. I saw that on the internet device. That is a crazy good album. It's rock and roll, slight heavy metal, not really, and blues. It's pretty damn good, Led Zeppelin 1. I'm going to listen to a little of that tonight because I haven't listened to that in years and years. The largest tonnage port in the Western Hemisphere has agreed to buy Avondale Shipyards for $445 million. We'll talk about that. Got some other $50 Woodhouse Day Spa trivia questions for you. That'll be coming up in a second. But first, Jeff Dorson joins us from the Humane Society of Louisiana, humanela.org. They need your help. Volunteer. You got something of value, an old car, boat, something they can sell and use the money to help cats and dogs, kittens and puppies, goats and horses, all kind of animals all over Louisiana. Most of their work done in Metro New Orleans, but boy, they go all over the state. They truly are the Humane Society of Louisiana, and they need your help. You can check out the incredible work they do. They update this page all the time, their Facebook page, Humane Society of Louisiana. You can see what they're doing. You go to that site, you will donate. The website, again, humanela.org to make that donation, humanela.org Jeff Dorson joins us on the program again. What's happening, Jeff?
You know what? I really appreciate your intro. I appreciate the fact that you give us these minutes every single week. You don't have to. It's your show, but you give time to something that's near and dear. Most people don't realize this is not a subject that's discussed politically. It's not discussed in economic terms. Animals are the lowest priority, and we need to do a much better job, our group, other rescue groups, to raise the level of awareness, because we're not out at the table where decisions are being made. I'm referring to budgets, priorities, programs, services. They either don't exist or they keep getting cut. And so it's very frustrating for somebody like me who really cares and wants these services. Most of our state, you can't pick up the phone if you find a stray. There's nobody to answer the phone to help you. That's a real problem.
No, it's a problem in New Orleans. Try calling the Louisiana SPCA. I'm not trying to bash them. They don't answer. They don't do anything. It's terrible. The city gives them like $2 million a year too. For what? I do not know. Hey, Jeff, it is my show. It is an important cause. It's easy for me to do. You don't have to thank me. I had Willie Fritz, the Tulane head football coach, on the program a couple of weeks ago, fresh off their incredible Cotton Bowl win, capping off a great season. Talked to him for 20, 25 minutes. Last thing he said, hey, man, I watch your show. I love what you do for the animals. I love the animals. I care for the animals, too. So, come 10K in May, I'm going to be calling on Willie Fritz. And I guarantee you're going to see a donation from the guy because he's like us. Jeff, he cares. He knows what's important. It made my day when he made those comments at the end.
That is important. Willie, if you're listening, get your checkbook out. I'm not kidding. We need your help. Get the pen ready, and we'll deliver the goods like you did. You took a team from 2-11 to 11-2 or something ridiculous. Yeah. We want to be a championship team, but we need more resources. It's difficult out there. There's so many strays hit by cars full of mange, parasites. They walk up to somebody, they care, but they don't have 300 or 400 sitting around to help them. So they call us. So we're up forever scrambling, called trying to get ahead when there's so many animals in need. We're also in touch with the governor's office. He has got to up his game. This is not on his radar, never has been, but it's going to be now. 2.5-page report with a supplemental report of 58 pages from the state auditor's office, and they just bashed the state. They just detailed in a deep, comprehensive review how far behind we are, everybody else in the state, in the country, regarding funding and providing basic services.
Yep.
No bells and whistles. So 58 pages of criticism, and I wonder if anybody read it besides me.
No, I didn't. So please forward that to me, Jeff, and I'll put the spotlight on that. John Bell Edwards is done in a year. So Get on him and be like, this is a problem. You fixed a lot of problems. Fix this one on your way out the door. Make that part of your legacy. I'll help you sell that with him if you want, because that's
I do.
That's an easy sell right there, Jeff.
Thank you. I want a meeting. I want him to look at all these statistics and facts and records, and let's see what we can do together.
Yep.
This doesn't have to be a no priority or a low priority. Let's up it.
Yep.
Let's fund it. Let's get together. Let's solve some of this stuff. We don't want a state full of suffering animals. We can do so much better.
No, it reflects on us.
I just came from the dentist, so
no, you're fine. You're fine. It reflects on us. It's like when people come in and there's trash and litter and graffiti and mattresses on the road and stuff. It's just like people are like, God, these New Orleans people in the metro area, whatever, they just don't care. And when we treat animals like this, we're the inhumane ones. I mean, to overlook it and not make it a priority or at all or a low priority is just sinful, terrible behavior. It reflects on us that we are pathetic, and it is an easy fix. Spay and neuter, responsible pet ownership, stepping up and donating money, donating your time. It's an easy fix. Hey, Jeff, real quick before we run out of time, that cute little dog in Catahoula with mange, no animal control in Catahoula Parish. I mean, Catahoula Parish, the state dog is a Catahoula. Y'all are paying to treat the mange and get the dog adopted. Cute little dog.
Yeah, get them fixed, sterilized, vaccinated, but it costs a little bit of money.
Yep.
So if you donate to us, you'll get a dividend of some animal in some part of the state benefiting from it. Doesn't have to be Metro. We're all over.
Yep.
Calls pour in. So I'm delighted that you mentioned the coach. I'm so delighted that he's listening. And if you're like him, step up to the plate and help us. We'll do the work, but we need more fuel in our gas tank to get places.
Yep. Literally and figuratively. Hey, the phone number is 888-6-HUMANE. If you see someone with a dog chained up, your neighbor's an idiot, how he handles an animal, horse is emaciated, whatever it might be, 888-6-HUMANE. Jeff will put on the Superman cape and come to the rescue. 888-6-HUMANE. But he only can put on the Superman cape and come to the rescue if you donate. HumaneLA.org is the way to do it. Jeff, you're the man.
Perfect, brother. Back at you. Thanks for this program. Thanks for all you care about. It's working. Talk to you next week.
HumaneLA.org.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Super discount store in Chalmette.
3235 Paris Road.
The lowest price allowed by Louisiana law on wine, alcohol, and beer.
Worth the drive from anywhere.
If you're throwing a party and need wine, alcohol, and cold beer, super discount store in Chalmette.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Come to Fausto's Italian Bistro. Age-old Italian recipes like the calamari fritti or spaghetti and meatballs. Lunch Monday to Friday, dinner Monday to Saturday. 530 Vets, a block before Dorignax. Fausto's Italian Bistro.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
That's got to be meters. That proves it's meters. There's Art on that Hammond organ. Leo Nocentelli with the guitar. Hey, Zigaboo Modi Lesti on the drums. Hey, the Radiators, who have retired, have come out of retirement for the 19th time. They'll be at Tipitina's tonight, tomorrow night, the night after. You know, just thinking of Leo Nocentelli, incredible guitar player. Camille Bowden, who plays for the Radiators, just a shredder, incredible guitar player. A guitar virtuoso, Jeff Beck, passing away at 78 years old. This guy was absolutely incredible. And when you go, Eric Clapton, one of the best guitarists in the world, I think that's true. Sonny Landreth in Lafayette. Eric Clapton's like, Sonny Landreth's better than me. I think Sonny Landreth is better than Eric Clapton. I think Eric Clapton's incredible on the guitar. Some of the riffs, the songs, fantastic. Been doing it forever. I'm not downplaying Eric Clapton. Sonny Landreth plays like the lead and then fills in the gaps in between the next part of the lead. Just crazy good at the guitar. Jeff Beck was amazing. Rock and roll, blues, jazz, whatever. Horn section, strings, someone with a great voice singing. Go to YouTube and Jeff Beck's all over the place. I mean, Blow by Blow, I love that CD when I was a kid. Incredible. Freeway Jam, I mean, just outrageous. Listen to this guy on the guitar. Check out Jeff Beck and Imelda May, this incredible singer. Just a great voice, just belts it out. Check out on YouTube, Jeff Beck, Imelda May, Walking in the Sand. I mean, that lead that he leads in is just insane. It's just pure Jeff Beck. 78 years old, passing away. A fixture for 60 years in music. Yeah, if you like musicians that are great at the instrument they play, go to YouTube and check out Jeff Beck. Hey, I got a trivia question. Name one of Jeff Beck's bands. Name one of Jeff Beck's bands. You give me the right answer, I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Not 10% off, not $10, not $20, $50. You can do something with that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 4 area locations. Mid-City, New Orleans. Carrollton at Canal Street. They're on Canal Street at Carrollton, I should say. They're in Metairie near North Kenner, on West Esplanade at Transcontinental. They're in Slidell. They're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. And maybe sometime right before, maybe right after Mardi Gras, within the next 6-8 weeks or so. They're working on it as we speak. The Woodhouse Day Spa Mandeville location. The city's premier day spa, guys. Next month, Valentine's Day. Don't blow it. Get her what she wants. A full-blown day of relaxation at the city's premier day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa. Got a few other trivia questions for you, too. I-10 Service Road at Bundy, home of the Household of Faith Church. Household of Faith Church. What was it originally? That big box store that was converted into the Household of Faith Church. Speaking of churches, right down the road, have you been to the Gentilly Baptist Church, that new facility on I-10? I went to Miss Loretta from Loretta's Pralines. I went to her funeral, her service there. That facility is incredible. That Gentilly Baptist Church on the I-10 service road right off of Crowder, in between Crowder and Reed, is mind-blowing how nice it is, how first class it is. The foyer area where you walk in the initial doors and then you enter the church through another set of doors, that area is gigantic, about 20 yards deep all around the church. I mean, just a first class, really, really, really nice facility. I'm blown away by it. The old Gentilly Baptist Church, I believe they're selling that. That's on, what is that? Franklin, right off the I-10, about, I don't know, right over the overpass, right there on the left. I think they're selling that. That was the original, that state-of-the-art facility in the East. I'm just guessing. I got no clue. $30 million? Got no idea. But it's impressive. Right down the road, the Household of Faith Church, they've done a good job with the facade, cleaning up that old big box store and making it their church. What was it originally? That big box store is about 50 years old. I used to go in there as a kid. I'll give you a hint. I used to go pick up my Davy BB gun. I used to go pick up my BBs there. I got the treasure chest of BBs. It was this little cardboard box. You open it up, and it had a bunch of little packs, maybe 20, 30 packs of about 50 BBs in a little plastic little bag. I got them at that place. What was the Household of Faith Church originally in New Orleans East? When New Orleans East had a booming economy, lots of retail, not sort of how it is now, like a retail desert. Sad. It's a shame. Folks in the East just got sold out by Johnny Jackson and Sherman, the criminal Copeland. What a joker that guy is. Morals, integrity, ethics, honor. I don't know. Did they just miss that lesson at school where Johnny Jackson and Sherman Copeland's parents absentee? Because they lack ethics, integrity, morals, honor, pride. Pretty pathetic human beings. Sherman Copeland of this day is like 70-something, and he still runs around collecting BS checks from people during election campaigns. $500, right? No, I said 1,000. No, you said 500. It's just kind of pathetic, sad, but a criminal. So, I don't have any empathy or sympathy towards those types of people. Plus, they wrecked the East almost single-handedly. Their actions, coupled with the oil bust of the early 80s, kaboom goes the dynamite, and the East is like the Titanic hitting the iceberg. The Household of Faith Church. What was that building originally? And right across the street, right on the I-10 service road, the same time this Household of Faith Church was a thriving business in the 70s and 80s, this was a Chinese restaurant right across the street that had a pretty good reputation, as I recall. What was the name of that Chinese restaurant across the street from the Household of Faith Church? Pick one of those questions. Household of Faith Church, what was that building originally? And across the street, what was the name of that Chinese restaurant? This is going back to like the 70s and 80s before the bottom fell out. Guitar great Jeff Beck, passing away at 78 years old, a master, a virtuoso at the guitar. Name one of his bands that he played in. Played in a band with, check this out, Eric Clapton and Jimmy Page. It's just insane. Another band, Rod Stewart and Ronnie Wood. Wow. Crazy. No, sad to hear about Jeff Beck passing away. Hey, tomorrow we hope to get Paul Matthews on, the CEO of the Port of South Louisiana. Hopefully we'll do it during that Michael Heck segment from Greater New Orleans East. The largest tonnage port in the Western Hemisphere is the port of South Louisiana. They have agreed to buy the former Avondale shipyards for $445 million. $445 million. Like, man, that's a lot for that old, shipyard. It's 254 acres. So they're paying, I don't know, about $1.5 million an acre right on the Mississippi River. Hopefully we'll get Paul Matthews on, the CEO of the Port of South Louisiana. And hopefully it'll be during that Michael Heck segment. TV audience mañana. You radio folks watching on YouTube, live streaming, CoreyTalks.com. Stick around. We roll all the way until 6 o'clock. Hey, by the way, tomorrow's segment, every Friday, Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans, Inc., appropriately brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. You East Bankers, you West Bankers, Latrim's got you covered at their Elmwood facility. Over 1,200 employees in Elmwood. You folks on the North Shore, Latrim has a Hammond facility right off the I-12. East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, Latrim's got you covered. For a full listing of positions available, they're hiring at Latrim. And you go to the website, it's not like 3 or 4 job openings. It's dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings. Latrim.com, a culture of innovation. Go to their website, Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, Latrim.com. Yeah, tomorrow, Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans, Inc., hopefully Paul Matthews, the CEO of the Port of South Louisiana. We'll have, what's his name again? Fletcher, that's right. Fletcher Mackel from Channel 6, Fridays with Fletch. I think Sean Payton has an official interview with Denver on the 17th of this month, right when he's able to do it. Texans and Arizona also interested in the former Saints head coach. So we'll talk with Fletch about that. 5 o'clock powwow about this time mañana. We'll be visiting with Frank Brightson of Brightson's Restaurant, like we do every single Friday on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Hey, Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. I-10 Service Road at Bundy, the Household Faith of Church. The Household of Faith Church. What was that building originally, like 50 years ago for a couple of decades? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours. And right across the street, 70s and 80s, was a highly respected Chinese restaurant. What was the name of that? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours. 504-766-9480. Jeff Beck passing away. Name one of the bands that Jeff Beck played in. Name one of the bands Jeff Beck played in. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Hey, on these trivia questions, you know the rules, right? No intranet device, no search engines, no DuckDuckGo or Bing or Google or Yahoo, Alta Vista, whatever you're doing. None of that. You either know the answer in the old skull cap, the old cranium, or you don't. No cheating, no intranet device. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us. NOPD officer Jeffrey Vappy, under federal investigation, has returned to full duty. City Hall selects a design firm to redo the Municipal Auditorium, to basically fix the Municipal Auditorium. I think the city's got about 38 million bucks from FEMA, going way back from 2005 and Katrina, 18 years ago. 18 years ago. I think they're going to spend about 25 or 30 million of the 37 just to kind of get the building right again. Fix all the damage, put on a new roof, new air conditioning and heating system, electrical and plumbing, fix all the walls, doors, windows, paint it up, get it back to that position. And then they hope to get a private investor, public-private partnership, and make it something that will benefit sitting right across the street from the Quarter, Armstrong Park, the Treme neighborhood, tourists, conventioners, the whole 9 yards, something for everyone. But not the old banging the square peg in a round hole. Hey, y'all, we're going to make it a new city hall. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank goodness the Treme neighborhood stepped up and said, hey, Mayor, that is a terrible idea. Utterly ridiculous. We don't want it. And the mayor had no choice. Mostly black neighborhood. Had to pull the, cord on that one. 86, that idea. Nix that. Terrible idea. Karen Carter Peterson sentenced to 22 months in jail after 22 years with the state legislature. Hey, local media, stop saying every single time. Karen Carter Peterson took the money from her campaign fund, took the money from the Louisiana Democratic Party to fuel her gambling habit. That's just not right. Because that says, hey, I'm not a criminal. I have an addiction. Hey, I'm not a criminal. I got a disease. It sort of lets her off the hook. And it's like, no, you're a criminal. And let's not kid ourselves. All that money didn't go into slot machines. It's for personal use. Gambling addiction, drinking addiction, drugs, buying dresses, cars, going on trips, whatever. It's for personal use. Just this like exclusively to pay gambling, debts or gambling habit. That's ridiculous. That's part of it. I don't wish that on anyone. I hope Karen Carter Peterson doesn't gamble anymore, has beaten that habit, that addiction, whatever. But that's just such a lame excuse because it isn't two things. It's not all the money going there. And second, it sort of lets her off the hook, sort of. I'm not criminal. No, you are. You're a criminal. That's why you're going to jail for 22 months. And you're lucky it's only 22 months. Now I want to know about those, I call them the, what did I say to Rafael? The funnelers. This Jalen Group, former city councilman Jay Banks, his brother Graylin Banks. They have a BS political consulting firm. Wink, wink, give me some money and we pretend to do something for you. Just another one of those scams in New Orleans and Louisiana where people don't do anything and receive a check. When you, me, everybody else out there, we work for every penny we earn. We earn it legitimately. We work our butts off. Some of us multiple jobs, hustling to bring in money from multiple, things that we do. And then you get jokers like Graylin Banks and Jay Banks' brother, this Graylin Group. Hey, Jay, when you get elected to public office, maybe you got to 86 this political consulting group, which is a bunch of crap. So Karen Carter Peterson taking her campaign funds and pulling a John Alario, pulling a Walter Reed, using the campaign funds for personal use against the law. Walter Reed went to jail, and then his great attorney got him out from Corona. He's a lucky guy. He should be in a cage. Walter Reed's a piece of garbage. And so is John Alario. He never even got indicted. That's pathetic. But I hope the feds aren't done. And, hey, we got Karen Carter Peterson. That's the big fish. Let's move on. No, let's continue and clock these BS political consultants where the money was funneled through. Essentially, Karen Carter Peterson gave campaign funds a la John Alario, Walter Reed to the Graylin Group and a couple of other groups, and Louisiana Democratic Party funds because she was the president under the guise of political consulting. And I don't know the cut, you guys keep 20, I get 80. You guys go 70, I get 30. I get 90, you get 10. Hey, we split it 50-50. I got no idea what the terms were to this criminal activity. But I hope it doesn't stop with Karen Carter Peterson. We all want justice. We want the people that were involved in this funneling the money back to Karen Carter Peterson and taking a chunk for themselves. We want them clocked too. U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of Louisiana, New Orleans FBI. Engage clutch, shift into a higher gear, and jam down on that accelerator. Go get the Grayland Group and these other jokers that were taking the money, doing nothing except enriching themselves, and Karen Carter Peterson. Laundering her money, washing her money, her campaign funds through this BS, and the Louisiana Democratic Party funds. Just pathetic. Terrible. Pathetic. Ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, I talked with Rafael. You really want to go to YouTube or Anchor or Spotify or iTunes and check out the 4 o'clock hour where I had Rafael Goyeneche on for a good 35, 40 minutes. Talked about a bunch of stuff, including this ridiculous ordinance by the city council. They think it's like, man, we're in a state of emergency. We got to put the onus on the business owner. No, that just drives people away from New Orleans. New Orleans is not a business-friendly place. Ask the guy that started the Havana Outpost, Sean Meenan. Thank God he started Etsy and is a millionaire a bunch of times over. Might be worth $100 million plus. And thank God that Sean Meenan was a Golden Gloves champ, because these losers with the no Havana Outpost, by the way, right in the window of the Havana Outpost is a sign, one of the yard signs, no Havana Outpost with the red circle and the line through it. These losers behind the Havana Outpost on Esplanade that are underassessed where they live, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 assessment of their house when it's worth $2-3 million, like they're paying 10 cents on the dollar, 15, 20 cents on the dollar in taxes on what their building should be assessed. Just selfish New Orleanians that think they're civic-minded. That's the worst part. Mama's boy, attorneys, whatever, that have the money and time. Now, we're going to fight this guy, and there's going to be no Havana Outpost. You picked on the wrong dude. Got more money than you, and he's a Golden Gloves champ, and he hung on for 10 years. 10 years. Because he loves New Orleans. He has embraced the city. He bought a house right down the street on Esplanade. His kid goes to school in New Orleans. No, he beat these losers. And Havana Outpost is, they open with a soft opening. I think they reopen at the end of this month or early February, before Mardi Gras for sure. Go drive by there. That once blighted corner that these jerks down the street would rather have blight than a business because they're selfish. It's about them. That corner is no longer blighted. Few $1 million of investment, and it looks fantastic. Thank you, Sean Meenan. Go visit the Havana Outpost. They're going to open soon. Anyway, a lot going on. We like covering it every day on the program. Hey, Fausto's Italian Bistro opened up their doors about 40 minutes ago. They'll roll till 9 p.m. tonight. Sit at the bar. Sit inside. Tonight, you can get away with outdoor dining. It should be nice tonight, around 60. But, boy, when they shut down around 9, temperatures are going to drop overnight. We had a high today of about 75. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, 30, 35 degrees colder, especially on the North Shore, maybe 40 degrees colder on the North Shore. High 30s, mid to high 30s on the North Shore, low 40s. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, I know you're outside going, well, how can it be, Corey? It's 75 right now, low 40s. Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Tomorrow and Saturday should just be very cold and sunny. 40s and 50s, both tomorrow and Saturday. Warming up a little bit on Sunday, but then sort of getting back to not this stuff, but 60s and maybe low 70s next week. Yeah, go to Fausto's tonight. Dine outside while the weather's good. I went in there earlier this week, got the veal piccata with that beautiful lemony sauce. I don't get it with capers. I know I'm a picky eater. I'd admitted that, but it comes with capers. Traditional veal piccata. I'll say this. I don't know if you can get better veal piccata like in New York or Italy. As good as it gets. Tender, insanely flavorful. That lemony sauce is just outrageously good. Get a little fettuccine Alfredo on the side. Get them to put some of that fresh cracked black pepper. Fausto's pretty tough to beat. Convenient, too. Park right in front. Great service. Fausto's Italian Bistro and Vets is really, really good. Yeah, if you missed the 4 o'clock hour and you love New Orleans and you're concerned about the crime problem, Rafael Goyeneche and I went at it for a while, the Metropolitan Crime Commission director. And I don't mean went at it like arguing. I am 110% with Rafael Goyeneche. Thank goodness for honest, high integrity, morals, pride, honor, everything you want. Rafael Goyeneche from the Metropolitan Crime Commission joined us, and we, I don't know, I can count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10, 12 different questions, all kind of different stuff that we addressed with Rafael Goyeneche. It's worth a listen. YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. Corey Johnson with you. 5 o'clock power hour on a Thursday. Hey, tomorrow, you know the drill. Fletcher Mackel, Frank Brightson, Fantasy Friday. I love it. And always Michael Heck from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Hopefully, we'll also have Paul Matthews during that segment. He's the CEO of the largest tonnage port in the Western Hemisphere. That's the Port of South Louisiana. They've agreed to purchase the old Avondale site, more than 250 acres on the Mississippi River, for $445 million, almost $500 million. Hey, best quality, best price, best selection. You know who I'm talking about, Rouse's Markets. It's Mardi Gras season. There are over 60 Rouse's locations. They've been doing it for over 60 years. King cakes for like 40 or 50 years. It is a recipe from decades ago. That cinnamon dough at Rouse's is off the charts. And that's what they start out with to make and bake their king cakes. Rouse's Markets, every store. And it's not some commissary they're trucking in the king cakes. Every store bakes their king cakes fresh. You go to a Rouse's Market this time of year, you'll walk inside and immediately you'll get a whiff of the incredible scent of those king cakes, a bacon at the Rouse's Markets. I think about 25 or 26 different king cake choices at Rouse's. So many different cream-filled choices. I'm kind of a vanilla basic guy. I like their just vanilla basic cinnamon dough with the icing Rouse's king cake, off the charts. Go to rouses.com, send friends or family anywhere around the country those fantastic Rouse's king cakes. Tastes like home. It's Mardi Gras season. Get your king cake today at Rouse's Markets.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool side. NoAC.com, your cool side.
The city's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa with 4 area locations: New Orleans, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and Metairie. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. NOLA.woodhousespas.com.
When you think of Fury's restaurant in Metairie, you think about the freshest local seafood anywhere. Shrimp, oysters, speckled trout, flounder, snapper, soft shells, crawfish. Fury's restaurant in Metairie.
At Home Paint and Decorating, our paints are in it for the long haul. In fact, our top Benchmore exterior paints come with a lifetime warranty. Not 25 years, not 50 years, we mean forever. You heard right. At Helm Paint, our top exterior paints have a lifetime warranty against chipping, peeling, and flaking. They also are mildew resistant. Imagine painting your home one time and being done with it. Visit any one of our locations today and make that once-in-a-lifetime purchase. Paint that has a lifetime warranty. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Greater New Orleans, a destination for learning. With 13 colleges and universities and a booming job market, Greater New Orleans is the ultimate destination for your higher education. Your path to the future begins in Greater New Orleans. Find out more at studynola.com.
being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For years, you've been hearing about the virtues of Springfield Wellness Center and their successful treatment of over 1,000 individuals who overcame their substance addiction. Now it's your turn. Here's Springfield's Dr. Richard Medier.
For over 20 years, we've successfully treated patients with substance abuse issues and have also had success with patients suffering from chronic stress, depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. We uniquely address restorative issues at the cellular level that impact mental health. We treat our patients with an intravenous nutritional supplement that helps restore various brain functions. Most of our patients have greatly reduced withdrawal symptoms. We work toward maximizing nutritional interventions while utilizing traditional medication interventions when needed. Our treatment works toward restoring the brain's health while returning the patient to a normal, dependent-free life.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center now, 504-291-2800. That's 291-2800.
Which Metro New Orleans area restaurant made CNN's top 50 in America and ThrillList.com's top 25 and has served presidents at the White House for over 40 years? Trey Yen in Mandeville.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
If you love Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City, you're going to love Bienvenue in Harahan. The same folks bringing a little of that New Orleans flavor to Hickory Avenue. If you love Katie's, come to Bienvenue on Hickory Avenue in Harahan.
You know, earlier today when it was raining, that's when you go to one of the 7 Helm paint and decorating locations in the metro area and get all your supplies, pick your colors, get your paints, get your primer, brushes, caulk, everything you need. You go when it's inclement weather day to one of the locations. And then over this weekend when it's sunny and bright and temperatures go above 50, you can knock out that painting job. Yeah, 7 locations in Metro New Orleans, including the Best Bank, West Bank Expressway at Stumpf, New Orleans, Metairie, Kenner, Mandeville, Hammond, plus free 2-hour delivery anywhere in the Metro, Helm, Paint, and Decorating. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 504-687-3888. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. I still got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Jeff Beck passing away, guitar virtuoso at 78 years old. Just unbelievable how good this guy was at that instrument. He's been a fixture for about 60 years. Name one of the bands Jeff Beck played in, and I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Hey, I-10, the service road at Bundy in the east, in between Crowder and Reed. They've got the Household of Faith Church in an old big box store. What was that building about 50 years ago originally built as and opened as? Name the business that was in that store that is now the Household of Faith Church originally. You got the answer. I got 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse for you. 504-766-9480. Right across the street from the Household of Faith Church. The building's still there, but it hasn't been a restaurant for years. It was a Chinese restaurant in the 70s and 80s before the bottom fell out, before Johnny Jackson and Sherman Copeland got their hands on the East, coupled with the oil bust. Yeah, just the Titanic sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Chinese restaurant across the street, Bundy, I-10 Service Road. What was the name of that Chinese restaurant? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa can be yours. 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Yeah, you right. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning, the best in the business for a reason. They've been at it since 1980. Dale and Don, fourth generation owners, they care. New Orleanians like you and me, taken care of you at Young's Dry Cleaning. The old traditional way, I still do the old school way. I hit the physical locations with personal service. On Claiborne's across from Tulane and on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's has absolutely free pickup and delivery. That's what most folks take advantage of. East Bank, West Bank, home or office, free pickup and delivery. And the future of dry cleaning, that's Young's Express. They're manless locker locations. They're all over the city, from Michoud in the east to Heritage Tower at the foot of Vets, CBD Warehouse District, all over. West Bank, maybe where you live and work, right under your nose is a Young's Express location, and you didn't even know it. Stick your dirty stuff in a safe, secure Young's locker. 2 short days later, pick it all up, perfectly dry cleaned. To find out if a Young's Express location's near you or to get on their free pickup and delivery list, it's easy. Young'sDryCleaning.com. They're the best. Young'sDryCleaning.com. The largest tonnage port in the Western Hemisphere. That's the port of South Louisiana, right up the river. They have agreed to buy the old Avondale shipyard site, over 250 acres on the river, for nearly $500 million. $445 million purchase. Hopefully tomorrow, the CEO of the Port of South Louisiana, Paul Matthews, will join us on the program. And ideally, right smack dab in the middle of that Michael Hecht Greater New Orleans Inc. segment. Hopefully that happens and works out perfectly for us. Also tomorrow, Fletcher Mackel. Who's that? And Frank Brightson, James Beard award-winning chef. Frank Brightson tomorrow on the program. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday afternoon. Trey Yen in Mandeville. Do I make the ride across the causeway tonight? It's easy and get some Chinese. Fury's in Metairie. Go get some great local fresh seafood, some onion rings, some gumbo. Or maybe I go by the Bus Barn on Carrollton and get some Middle Eastern food at Lebanon's Cafe. Choices, choices, choices. I can't go wrong. Best Chinese food. Some of the best Chinese food in America. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. Trey Yen in Mandeville. fresh, local New Orleans seafood, never anything frozen or from out of state, out of the country. You wish the seafood place you dine at did that. Fury's may be the only one. All local, never from out of state or out of the country, and always fresh, never ever frozen. Fury's restaurant in Metairie. And then shish kebab or lamb chops and all those Middle Eastern sides, Lebanon's Cafe. How can I go wrong with any of those choices? Impossible. Now, when I go get this stuff, sometimes I have to-go orders or leftovers when I eat there. You know who is an expert on knowing what I know, that all this stuff is great? What's that, Blue Boy? You love Fury's, bring you a piece of flounder or snapper? Wow. You love Treyen. What? Don't forget the tongue cho sauce? That's crazy, Blue. Lamb chops or lamb shish kebab, please, from Lebanon's. Blue, you're out of control. You're getting kibble. All right, I'll throw some human food in there, too. Hey, I'll see you tomorrow, Fantasy Friday, 93.9 FM, New Orleans. Yeah, you're right.